Originally, I had a different video planned for today, and then Elliotte Friedman tweeted out that Kasperi Kapanen is being traded to Pittsburgh. And I would say it was a good 30 minutes after Elliotte Friedman tweeted this until we found out what Toronto was getting in return, and let me tell you, that period of time of not knowing was pretty hilarious. There were so many people all over Twitter thinking Jack Johnson was going to be going back to Toronto. We finally know the full details of the trade. Here they are. Pittsburgh acquires Kasperi Kapanen, Jesper Lindgren, and Pontus Aberg in exchange for their 2020 first-round pick, which is 15th overall, Evan Rodriguez, Philip Hollander, and David Warsawski. When I originally saw the full details, my initial thought was, wow, Toronto made out really well in this trade. Getting Pittsburgh's first-round pick in the 2020 draft is huge. I thought it was going to be in the 2021 draft or something, but it's 15th overall in a 2020 draft that is looking like it is going to be very deep. And if you remember, Toronto traded away their first-round pick in the 2020 draft before the season started when they unloaded Patrick Marleau's contract to Carolina, so it's nice to see them now have a first-round pick again. Rodriguez and Warsawski are kind of just throw-ins in this trade, but Philip Hollander is a nice asset going back to Toronto. The Penguins selected him 58th overall in the second round back in 2018. He spent the last 2 seasons in the Swedish Hockey League and put up some pretty decent numbers. Projects to be like a middle 6 centerman. I mean, getting him and the 15th overall pick, I would say overall that's a pretty solid return for Toronto. On top of that, the Leafs also freed up a decent amount of cap space. Here's a tweet from David Pagnotta. Leafs now have $7.791 million in salary cap space with RFAs Mikheyev, Dermott, Engvall, and Gauthier to sign. Rodriguez is an RFA, but as mentioned, I'd expect the Leafs to not qualify him, making him a UFA. Pending UFAs include Barrie, Ceci, Clifford, and Spezza. With this salary cap space, I would say Toronto's priority should be to bring back Mikheyev and Dermott first, and then you can look to the other names. I would say Barrie and Ceci are almost guaranteed to be gone, but I would like to see the Leafs bring back Clifford and Spezza on like league minimum contracts, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. Now let's take a look at this trade from Pittsburgh's perspective. Obviously, Kasperi Kapanen is the centerpiece. Pontus Aberg is kind of just a throw-in, and I would say so is Jesper Lindgren. He's a 4th-round pick by Toronto back in 2015. The likelihood of him becoming an NHLer at this point is pretty low. While I do think Pittsburgh overpaid a little bit for Kapanen, I really do like the fit of him in Pittsburgh. It seems like anytime the Penguins acquire a talented winger, everybody always gets kind of excited about it just because of the possibility of him playing with a guy like Evgeny Malkin or Sidney Crosby. Kapanen didn't necessarily get a ton of opportunity in Toronto. Obviously, they have a loaded forward group and it's hard for him to push himself up in the lineup, but I would definitely expect that Jim Rutherford didn't pay this much for Kapanen to play him on the 3rd or 4th line. I would say he will probably have a top 6 role from the get-go, and you never know, if he plays a full season with a guy like Malkin or Crosby, I wouldn't necessarily be surprised if Kapanen scores 30 goals next year and is like a 50-point player. But then again, on the other hand, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see much of a jump from Kapanen and he's still just like a 15 to 20 goal scorer and a 35 to 40 point player, which don't get me wrong is still solid, but they did give up a lot in this trade if that's all he's going to bring to the table. So I feel like Rutherford and the Penguins are kind of banking on Kapanen making a jump, so we're going to have to wait and see what happens. I don't like to declare winners of trades as soon as they happen because you really just don't know what is going to happen with these guys in the future. Who knows? Kapanen could win the Rocket Richard next year and Philip Hollander could be an all-star. I mean, probably not, but you never know. However, if I had to guess who's going to wind up winning this trade, I'll say Toronto, but make sure you clip me saying that because you can send it to me on Twitter when Kapanen's accepting the Hart Trophy next season. Any Leafs or Penguins fans watching this video, I'm very curious to hear your guys' thoughts, so make sure to speak your mind down below in the comment section. And yeah, that is pretty much going to wrap up this video. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave it a like, and as always, if you guys are new to the channel and you want to see more NHL content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys on the next video.